Yo. Here's the tip. Pull back your shoulders, lift up your rib cage, and tuck in your butt. Aligning your chakras will help you to absorb a more positive state of mind, be able to show a more confident nature, which brings back smiles and more opportunities in a positive way in your life. Nicknamed the Velvet Hammer for my direct honesty with soft wordage, and a reader well established in the spiritual community, join me for Achieve TV every Wednesday on your concerns, what's making you feel blocked, career, love, romance, and angel message readings. Just click on the little Achieve Rainbow TV on achieveradio.com homepage and watch your reading live as it happens. The number to call in to the Pink Chakra Psychic Line is 888-235-7374.
You're listening to AchieveRadio.com. A new drummer for a new awakening.
And you are listening to Achieve Internet Holistic and Spiritual Radio, and now live YouTube TV. Those of you that are watching, you can watch now from your Facebook page, or you can go to Achieve and click on Achieve TV. Now, the number to call in for your special 2 readings per call from Joseph Grych and I is 602-666-6027. That's 602-666-6027. And be sure to click *5 so you can be able to be seen, because remember, we always do better if we can hear your voice. Joseph, how are you today?
Well, I'm fine, Anne Marie. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's raining here in the prairie, and how about over there?
Well, it's not raining, but it's muggy and very humid.
Well, you know, I just was getting really sick of watering all my gardens. I mean, I have half a block of gardens, and it gets to be a real pain in the butt watching the water bill go up. But on the other hand, I hate dead flowers, you know. So,
yes.
I am excited, and it didn't come today. I was opening up a new shop down about, half a block down from me, and it's an old brick shed that's about 100 years old, and I'm having a new roof put on it, and I'm going to stain the bricks, kind of shades to make it look like old world, and I've got a statue that was supposed to be delivered today, but it was downpouring rain. So that's where all my wreaths and my abundance vines are going to be made from the flowers there for the Renaissance Fair. But enough about me. What have you been doing as far as writing and music and all of those things?
Well, I haven't been doing anything with music lately, but...
Harder than reading for someone else?
Oh, I cannot do my own readings, and I can't cut my own hair.
And the same for, it's easier to be a critic for someone else than it is for our own work, because we get so much into the passion and to the momentum of our own work that we can't imagine someone else not seeing the same thing we are. And it's real killer when someone edits your work. I have an editor. Yeah.
It's very helpful to have somebody who's on the outside, who's objective, and isn't inside of you, So
Yes.
they could see things that you're not saying or things that you thought you were getting across. It takes somebody else on the outside to point out, you know what, I'm just not getting it. You have to reword this, or you have to do this in another way. Same with performances. A lot of times we think we're being a certain way, we're convinced of it, and then we see ourselves on tape and go,
Yeah. It's like watching yourself on video. I try hard not
yourself.
to. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that at times it's very difficult for me to watch myself on YouTube, because what I think I look like, I never look like. And it's the same as writing. What you think you're coming across as, you're not. So, it's the same thing.
Well, as long as the criticisms are constructive, it's very helpful.
Right. And is this person going to publish the book then in a self-publishing thing, or what's their plan?
Actually, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I do know that he is a painter. He's an artist, and I know that it is the intention of his to have it published. But we haven't discussed how. I did give him a few suggestions, because I have self-published after many years of submitting work that was rejected and not even looked at. They would come back so fast, I know they didn't look at it. My view is that if you really want something out there, you have to put it out there yourself. And don't count on somebody else doing it for you. That's just the way it is. It's a very competitive thing, a very competitive business. Art is competitive. Yeah. So you have to push yourself to do it. And if you really want it out there, people always say, it's on to write, and I always say, well, then why don't you?
Right.
Do it. Don't, it's good to dream.
I think that the days of
so
yes,
that's my advice.
I agree, and I think the lucky people of before internet must have been incredibly fortunate. Because along with Facebook and along with Twitter and along with all of the other, sometimes when I look at the social services and I see the long line of all the different services, I just go, wow, I only know 2 of those. I really am old.
Yeah, there's a lot I don't know with that. There's so many tools I'm not aware of yet.
Yep. And I think sometimes that if I had known, how hard it is to. Okay, Joseph, I'm going to hit something on you, and you tell me. And I have had women, and I have had people that have been in creative arts. Do you think that there's different stages where people will go out of their way, other artists and other artists and other people in similar fields as yourself, where they actually go out of their way to ignore you because you're competition?
Yes. I do believe that does happen, yeah.
Yeah, and then it seems like at a certain point when you get your big break, and you're finally with somebody that has that's doing your marketing for you, and you're with somebody that is really putting you in a magazine, then all of a sudden, bam, you are star quality and everybody pays attention to you. But it's that in-between stage where it just seems as if people really, they will help you when you're getting started. They will help you when they will promote you and be your fans if you are if you have made it. But if you're at that in-between stage, you better watch out and be very aware that people are a little bit funny.
Some are wary, like, why do you want to connect? What do you want? And it's like, well, no, I don't want to hitch my star to anybody's wagon. I don't want to do that, But as for the end part, about, gee, what if I get put into a magazine and I become famous and everybody wants something of me? Well, I think I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
If I ever come to it,
come to it. But, it's... what I've noticed too is that there are some people who don't want it. They don't want. They do one thing, and all of a sudden they're everywhere, and they're like, "I don't even want this." And other people have been trying for so long and so hard to get there, and they just can't. And then there are some people that they're in big demand, and they just say, "I don't want it. I just don't want it." I think it's maybe it's karma, where you get the fame and you don't want it.
Is it karma, or do you think it's based on the fact that when you just don't care, and you just put it in the hands of your guides or the universe, and you say, "Thy will be done," or whatever you want to say, and you just let it happen the way it's going to happen, that when you take a breath and relax and you just go with the excitement and go with the passion, do you think that at that point you give up the control? And when you give up the control, it seems like all of a sudden things flow?
That could be. I think... as long as you like what you're doing and you're doing it because of that, it really kind of doesn't matter. I do what I do because it's entertainment for me. I enjoy it. That's my way of entertaining myself. I mean, anytime I do something creative, that is my joy. And if somebody happens to like it, great, buy it. But, I don't work for spec. Once I do that, then I stop enjoying it. If someone starts to say, "I want to hire you to be my artist so you can paint what I want you to paint," well, then I'm not going to want to do that.
I'm jealous. I really am jealous of that thinking. I'm jealous. Because you know what? Ever since I've been 14, I've been in the field of stage work and dealing with having to be good enough to rate with the top people. And it was always difficult, and the sad part was I lost my pleasure in music because it began to be too much. And once it became too much and it became too hard work, the perfectionism, the feeling that you have to hit it right just perfect or else you won't be considered. At that point, when you get that bad blow, when you get a bad criticism, when you get a bad whatever, you have to be very, very careful to slough it off. Like you're saying, you have to relax. Because if you don't relax and you get too serious about it, next thing you know, you quit. And you don't want to play anymore. You don't want to do it anymore. And this perfectly wonderful talent or gift suddenly gets flushed down the toilet simply because you made it too competitive and you didn't have fun anymore. You couldn't relax anymore.
Absolutely. I've had that happen with a few things. I mean, I don't do very much artwork these days, but that used to be a lot of what I did because eventually someone discovered that I could do that, and then it became my work assignments when I worked. And people got very nasty about that sort of thing. And now it's like, that's something I'm going to do on my own, and I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Because I don't want to spend my time and effort trying to make somebody else look good.
In other words, along with recognition, you better be prepared that you become the center of attention for criticism and put downs. I mean, I sometimes am absolutely appalled when I think about how Obama, remember when he first got in there and the crowds were like miles long?
Oh, yeah.
And now you think, where did all these people go? What happened? It's like the bad criticisms, all of the potential that he had. Pretty soon you get enough talking heads and enough critiques and enough criticism, and a perfectly good talent gets flushed down the toilet.
They're overlooking any of the good things that he's accomplished. I mean, they're focusing on things that, whereas, say, previous presidents did much worse. And I think, I hate to say it, but I think racism is at the bottom of it. I think it's at the core.
I hope it's not. I mean, I would hate to think that.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It's still there. It's still in the air. And really, you wouldn't know it unless you're on the receiving end of it, But it's still there, believe it or not. I mean, we might live in an area, or we might think, well, by now we've advanced. And I say, for the most part, many people have. But, there is still, it's still there. And the people on the receiving end of it, they're the ones who are the most aware. The rest of us who, if we're not in it, and if we're not feeling it, we're not going to realize it's still there.
You're right, and I just want to say that we have Gwen from Massachusetts, Chris from Tennessee, Debbie from Pennsylvania, plus 4 people on the in quick, and we have Linda from Tennessee, Serena from Idaho, Davina from Tuscan, and Crystal from Colorado.
Well, who's first?
Let's go with Gwen from Let's go with the first one that's in the phone line, because I do want to say a little experience. Both Joe and I work for Keen, and you will find that I have over 27,000 client feedbacks on the web as far as my readings and accuracy. And you will find that Joseph is going to be very good to you, but he'll be very honest about what he sees. So let's start with Gwen from Massachusetts.
But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, please.
Don't be afraid. No, we promise not to butcher you.
No, we're not here for that. No, we're here to help.
No, we're here to help. We're here to help.
Plus we enjoy it, so just relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Gwen.
Hi, Anne-Marie. You are so beautiful.
Doesn't she look great?
Love.
Will you find love, or is it about a current love?
Yes.
Both?
Do you have some special? Do you have some?
Gwen.
No, I don't.
So where and when is she going to find love?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
Down at the parking lot and across the street and 2 floors up,
around
you'll
the
find
corner,
the most
over the hill,
attractive man.
and through the valley.
Yeah. Joseph, are you there?
Oh yes, I'm still here. I'm sorry. Well, I think Gwen. Oh, you're welcome. What do you see, Anne-Marie?
Gwen, when I look at the first thing that comes up to me shows that you have incredible instincts. And usually you act when you start to feel that gut instinct that something is trying to tell you something in life. But it shows that one of the things that is missing is that you go up and down like a yo-yo between being totally, oh gosh, this isn't worth it, I could just give a crap, to suddenly feeling like it matters a whole lot to you. So it's the inconsistency of your, oh my gosh, I'm too comfortable. I've got to do something. And then when you start to get that, I'm too comfortable, I got to do something, then it seems like you go in a month of that intense hyper focus on trying to change your life, and then you go back into your comfort zone. It sounds exactly like what Joe and I were talking about, how sometimes you get into trying to change things and perfect them, and then sometimes the hassle of it makes you just want to quit. So my feeling is Joe is absolutely right. You need to get out more, but then you need to be patient. You need to be patient with yourself. And realize that it isn't that it's just you can't go out. It's also the fact that you need to be consistently patient with yourself, that if things aren't exactly making you the star and you're not exactly finding the love, then say, hey, you know what, it's okay. I'm meeting people, I'm getting out there, I'm doing things. This is what I need.
That's right. Very true. Beautiful.
So yes, I'm with Joseph. I feel that you will find somebody once you start to consistently work on getting out there, staying out there, and not saying, oh gosh, I'm trying so darn hard and nothing's happening, so I'm going to go be comfortable again. Okay?
Right. Yes.
And I want to say
I'm like the tortoise. I'll stick my head out, see what's out there, and then pull it back in. Yep.
And I do have a 7 for finding somebody very interesting in your life. And 7 can be 7 weeks, or it could be 7 months. But either way, you meet people through other people. That's connections. When you get out there, it's connections. But I'm the last person to say, I'm going to say that when I wasn't married, the best part was that I could be spontaneous. I could be a lone wolf, which I am a lone wolf. Gosh, let me see. Where do they start? Oh, please let me know when the music is over. What does? Okay. Oh, that was.
Please
Fred.
let me know when the music is over. They don't like the music.
No. I want everybody to know Joseph did my intro music, and that was for Fred's show.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't for our show. So we're okay.
Should I sing it?
Okay, no. I'm looking at where my readings start, and okay. I'm going to go to. I'm just going to go to Debbie from Pennsylvania because I'm having a hard time seeing. Okay, Serena, Idaho.
Let me cut to the chase here.
If you don't talk, I will.
Well, I see something working out for you that is a reward for your perseverance regarding a certain matter. And it's something to do with monetary achievement or value. And that's the outcome that I see here. Is you're also being advised, don't try to control others around you, because that's not going to work out. Okay. And also to try to be a little more resilient, because I'm seeing that down the line your resistance to change could hinder things. But in the long run, I see you acquiring something monetary-wise, that persistence is going to pay off.
Okay.
I see you in a position of authority. So,
It's always good to be in control.
Yes.
Whip that
No, I see.
chain.
Because I'm
Do
seeing
that.
at the
No,
present. At the present.
We need the
there's
sound of
sort
a whip.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what you're being cautioned against. Is hey, don't let the power go to your head. Okay.
Right.
But you are going
You're
to achieve this authority, which is a good thing because apparently it has to do with perhaps more money. Okay.
Oh, praise
So,
God.
and you might be feeling insecure now,
Yeah.
but that's going to change. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. In the past, there was some unhappiness, over things like this, over monetary things in the past. So the whole monetary thing is coming up here in all the cards. It has to do with money or possessions of property or something. But I see things not going so well in the past. And so it kind of has you feeling like, oh, this is not going to work. But I'm seeing that you are working, that you've made an effort towards something, and I'm just letting you know that this is going to do good. But just keep in mind, be a little more resilient and a little more open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Debbie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
The first card that comes up to me says, relax.
Okay.
Don't fill your mind with so much worry, because in doing that, you create your own stress because you're afraid if you don't have stress, you might really have something to worry about that you missed.
Okay.
Your reading shows that one of the things that you're very cerebral, you're very analytical. And at times, if things don't happen for you the way that you want, you automatically start overanalyzing worst-case scenarios.
Okay.
And your reading says you really need to get away from that. I get the Fool on that one. The Fool, which indicates that it's silly to focus on anything that you can't figure out as instantly being negative. And like Joseph, I also see more monetary gain. I come up with the Pentacles, which indicates that you are going to run into more money. And I come up with a Star, which indicates that when you start to lose more of that worry and you stop analyzing the things that you don't know for sure as being worst case scenario, you actually start to kind of be more charismatic and come out and be more relaxed, and so that's what I'm shown. Okay?
Yeah, this new position coming, and I'm seeing force for that, which could be 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months. But like Anne-Marie, I had also got the Star, but for the present time, and it came up as upside down, meaning that it actually validates what she said. It's like this currently you're a bit, but it's going to work out once you relax and loosen up. And if people don't get things, sometimes people are not really quite on the same level, and even the same intellectual level, and we get a little annoyed that they don't get it, but it's not really their fault. So you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And Joseph, in doing that, when she starts to analyze the things that didn't turn out the way she wanted, or the things that she didn't get the response she wanted, she shoots down her own Star with the beating herself up for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it just things happen. It's not your fault,
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Joseph, but there's days when I think I'm extremely funny, or I think I'm extremely animated, and then I'll get like this dead response on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm thinking, I should be quiet. I'm not very funny. I'm not very good at all. Nobody's responding. And so
actually,
you have to...
you were. It's just that everybody else wasn't.
Nobody felt like laughing that day. Or there's just... maybe it's astrological Facebooking. I don't know. But
It's like, gee, it's a joke. Get over it, you know?
Yeah. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Who do we have next now?
We have Linda from Tennessee, and this is the write-in. I've got where we're at now. We're going to have to do we have 22 minutes, and we have about 2 million readings. So we're going to have to do some flash readings, okay? We've got Linda from Tennessee says, "Hi, Joseph and Anne-Marie. I feel leery about an individual from work. His name starts with K. Should I be worried about his intentions? My husband thinks he's holding me back. Thank you so much."
Huh.
And so what I'm understanding, I think, Joseph, is that she likes somebody, but she's skeptical about his intentions, whoever this K is, and evidently her husband thinks that I don't know whether he thinks that he's holding her back from having a damn good romance, or whether he thinks K is holding her back. But I guess
I think the intentions of the individual, of Mr. K, I think his intentions are okay. They're good. I see him as an artistic person who speaks his mind, but at times maybe perhaps lacks the social skills and might be off-putting to some people. But what I see, though, is he's somebody who's passionate about life, is all. And, I don't think intentionally holding her back. I think it's just something that it appears that way because of his the way he appears, the way he talks, the way he just comes out with things.
I'm going to say something that I will probably be sorry about, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Was
I being too kind?
I don't know. Well, are you really worried about what his intentions are, or are you attracted and asking what your own intentions are? Because I show that this is a very impulsive, very spontaneous connection you have with him. And I'm shown that at times you do feel a little flabbergasted by your own emotional reactions. I think that it scares the hell out of you.
It's all right.
It scares you because you see that this person could be somebody that would change your life. And so does your husband, because he knows you well enough to know when you are taken by someone. So my feeling is that it's you that is more wary about the own charismatic connection you have with this person. So relax. Don't worry about it. I think that everything will be all right once you stop seeing it as a threat.
So you had this wonderful mental and creative connection, which is probably something that, hasn't ever happened. I mean, a lot of times we meet somebody.
Time.
Well, the thing is, sometimes our soulmates sometimes are not always our spouses or our lovers, but they are somebody that we meet that is, a part becomes or is somebody that we connect so well with. But, and that's really all it is.
Yes.
That's all it is. It's intellectual. On his end anyway. So,
and I think that one of the things we have to remember is that we don't just have one soulmate. It is my opinion that if you believe in past life, which is and that's what I see. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go with Serena. Everybody now is in quick. Serena is from Idaho. She says, "My first time here. Hi. May I have a reading concerning my desire to write? So many words pop into my head, but when I sit to write, my fingers hesitate. Will I ever complete these stories and get published? I feel they will help others. Open to all insights from Spirit. Thank you and have a great day. What a wonderful question. What a wonderful question.
It is a good question. Just do it. And the thing is, you have too many distractions, dear. And you just have to let people overreact if they're going to overreact, while you remain calm and remain diligent in your work, and it will work out. You can't get the stories published if you don't finish them. And that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. So if there's drama happening around you and all those little things that, and I am seeing that there is some, you have some intense friendships, and that's not a bad thing. But I know for myself and from my personal experience, I cannot get anything done if I have somebody always bothering me. Even though they're not intending on bothering me, it does take a little bit of isolation to get things done, especially the creative process. You have to be at your computer or your whatever tools that you're using, and let that internal audio tape flow within your mind, and so you can channel your stories in, and so that you could become part of it and be in the flow and just let it flow through you. And you can't do that if you're constantly interrupted. It's nearly impossible. It's not like you're typing copy where you don't have to think. It's one thing to be typing, and I always tell people, yes, if I'm just typing, if I'm just copying something, I don't need to really concentrate on it. But if I'm writing and I'm in the creative process, I can't be bothered with stuff. I mean, I could tune everything out, but once somebody breaks through and says, Joe, and I'm, I lost it. It's gone. And you know what? And that's what you have to do. Take the time away. If you could lock your office door, or just say, you know what, I don't care if lunch is ready. Right. That's the only way that you're going to do it. But I do see you doing it. Once you do that, I see you completing your stories. So you just have to get behind yourself and push for this. I hope that helps.
I would also add to that there's an old saying that, not an old saying, it's just a darn fact. If you're a creative, oftentimes you don't fit in to the norm in school or the norm in society. Oftentimes there's that part of you that is never totally accepted for whatever reason. And so there's this little tiny part of you that's always worried about how people think about you. If you bring that into these wonderful stories, and pretty soon you start misspelling, or you start worrying about your grammar, or you start worrying about all the things that you're not even worried about communicating your story anymore. You're more worried about, oh my gosh, am I misspelling? Oh my gosh, am I editing my sentences right? Oh my gosh. I'm going to say, sit down, just write your thoughts as if you were talking to somebody. Don't even worry about the spelling or the grammar or about Judy or Ramon or whoever in the past that was not complimentary of you. They don't matter. What matters is that you want to communicate that special essence that always made you different onto your computer, your paper, whatever. And I believe that maybe what you've got is a self-critic inside you that's worried far too much about how the message is coming out, spelling or grammar-wise, and just quit it. Just sit down and write it exactly as you're thinking it, and then later on you can go back and you can do the spelling and the grammar, whatever else. What matters is getting that story down that you thought. Yeah.
And don't spend your time working one paragraph to death You know what I mean?
No. Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't worry about the
That was-
mechanics. Don't spend time on what kind of a program you should use. Don't spend time on any of that stuff. The main thing for now is to go with what's already inside of you. Are these great, okay, and get it all out. Then you go back and you can do whatever mechanical things you need to do. Then you can worry about, the fine-tuning afterwards. That's the secret, really. Just do it.
Yeah, because if you don't do it, you spend your whole... Do you really think... I always wonder, is our life pretty much like an ant? Is it just flying by and we think it's going slow?
It gets quicker as time goes on.
Yeah, you don't want to be like 82 and then think, darn, I should have written that story. You don't want to do that.
I finally bought the perfect program for writing my manuscript. But now I forgot what it was.
Well, I do love a program called Novel Writer that you can find on Microsoft, and it's called Novel Writer, and it's fun and it helps you organize your ideas and get your characters and stuff. But you can do this on your own, and you can worry about the details later. So let's go into Davina from Tuscan. Hi, Anne-Marie and Joseph. I'm wondering if you can give me some guidance on my career. I'm not sure if I should move to California to continue my education or if I should stay here in Arizona. Also, on another subject, I get sleep paralysis quite frequently, about 4 times per month. And I am wondering if you know anything about this subject. Is it related to my spiritual journey? Gosh, I don't know. What do you have on that, Joe?
So that might be something that you might want to look at. What are you consuming? Are you taking medications? Because if you are, that's a whole other ballgame. But that is a physical thing. That is something that happens, And I think we've all experienced it to some degree or another, where we cannot seem to get out of a dream, or to force ourselves awake, or because we're not fully awake. I can't advise you about taking another chemical, like say, I can't say, well, maybe have a little green tea because it has just enough caffeine so you're not, completely, unconscious. But you might want to look into what's going on physically. Now, what I'm seeing as for whether or not you should move, well, I'm seeing an involvement in the future that is with somebody who is a bit unstable, a youthful male energy, and it's not somebody that I would it's not somebody whose wagon of whom I'd hitch my star onto, because of their unstable money. I mean, it is somebody who has an unrealistic idea about money. They might castles in the air. Like it seems like a great idea, but there's some holes in this plan. So I would say, before uprooting yourself and making this huge change in your life, give it some more study first. Okay?
And I would like to add I was doing some research when you were talking. And it says, sleep paralysis is a phenomena in which a person, either when falling asleep or awakening, temporarily experiences an inability to move. It is a transitional state between wakefulness and sleep, characterized by complete muscle weakness. It is often associated with terrifying visions, such as an intruder in the room, and may I say, people who often see aliens aliens taking them onto spaceships, giving them anal probes, such as intruder in the room to which one is unable to react due to paralysis, from which the term nightmare is derived. One theory is that it results from disrupted REM sleep, which is normally characterized by complete muscle weakness to prevent the sleeper from getting out of their sleep because they're not getting enough of it. So in other words, the sleep paralysis is a way to keep you asleep because your erratic sleep patterns are not healthy. So therefore, the paralysis happens as sort of like your body's saying, no, you're not going to get up, you're going to sleep. And in doing so, it says that the best possible cure for it is making sure that you have a regular sleep pattern and that you go to bed at regular times. And remember that also it says that when you have many episodes at one time, just understand that it says practice healthy, or what I don't get, it says practice sanitary sleep patterns. Does that mean like change your underwear? Change your bed sheets. Don't sleep in dirty sheets. Or maybe they mean, underwear.
Take a relaxing bath. To take a relaxing bath before bed to relax your muscles and kind of like make it a ritual, a nightly ritual, like the things that we usually do before going to bed. Sometimes we do some cosmetic things and a little bit of pampering. We brush our teeth, we comb our hair. I highly recommend brushing your hair before going to bed because it really does relax your scalp and it relaxes you. It's a very comforting thing to do the grooming before going to bed. I want to point out that right now
I look at it because doubt, if you're feeling as if you are just, if you just feel that you cannot decide whether to go, there's three things that actually rule that. One, getting your ducks in line, getting boxes ready, getting your things packed in a back room and making sure that you have enough relaxation time for moving, and starting to get rid of the crap you don't need, saving up your money, making sure that you have enough money to take you to another state, or you have a backup plan. Those two things probably are more going to be dominant in your choice. Mine says, look for it says, perhaps there's somebody that's a little younger than you that may be a Pisces, and that this person is somebody that's very peaceful and a little creative, but there's no date on it. So just think that there is somebody, but there's no date. The next question
if you're hoping for tomorrow, no.
Yeah. And it says we have Aaliyah, and she wants to know how finances are going to go. And we have 1 minute and 51 seconds. So one card reading. I show you with the Chariot, which means that this is the year for you to get ahead of your finances. What do you have, hon?
Yeah, I see that too. And I later.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And Joseph, I love you, and we'll have you back later.
Thanks, Anne Marie. It was fun. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Listening to AchieveRadio.com.
Then those moments in an individual's life when sometimes by accident, but in the aspirant's life because of a deliberate intention, the individual comes upon new meaning to life. Now, most of us, honestly, don't have a lot of moments full of new meaning. That's because we're too busy plowing under the old meaning and hoping that something will grow out of those seeds of our past. But when, by grace, coupled with an individual's willingness to receive it, because in the end, you will see that in order to truly receive what grace intends for you to have, it's going to require a new kind of willingness on your part. The real spiritual life isn't all autographs and sunglasses. When by those moments new meaning comes, such as, and all of us have had some of this or we wouldn't be here listening, watching, an epiphany, sudden insight into something, where you realize in a split second more than that could be said in 5 or 10 volumes of a book, all in this one brilliant illumination in which the individual suddenly realizes, without having to think about it at all, that their former understanding was really no understanding at all, or at best incomplete. And usually when we see something that's incomplete in our lives, there's no celebration. For instance, you see that a relationship is incomplete. You see your understanding in terms of ambition has made a slave of you. 1,000 different ways in which suddenly there is the incomplete act of my life. And there's nobody going, oh, this is fantastic. But in those moments where the light of God, the light from heaven, enters into the nascent human soul, there is a distinct celebration, even though the revelation of that moment has made it abundantly clear that what you thought was the whole wasn't the whole at all. So there's an instantaneous recognition in that realization that a world much greater than anything that you had considered existing already existed within you. It is literally, and you've heard thousands of illusions like this, the doors are thrown wide open, and suddenly by a light that you had not seen anything before, you realize that what you took to be a light was just at best a single beam of something, but that there was an entirely different order of light that could flood the soul. And in that stirring and in that movement, suddenly the individual understands, again, all part of this one moment where new meaning comes in, that the meaning of something ultimately cannot be separated from the order of self that understands it. Oh my God. What a discovery. That within you, buried, sleeping, lives all that God has intended for his finest creature, for that which was created in order that this meaning could be revealed and understood. And in that moment, that upon that soul, in that individual, within whom this new meaning has come, a completely